Hello, my name is Sean Perriman, and in this lesson we'll be learning about AutoSum and its features such as finding the total or sum, finding the average, finding the min or the lowest number, finding the max or the highest number, and lastly finding the count or finding the amount of numbers in a particular range. So as you can see in this example, we have 3 rows of numbers, and for each rows of numbers we're going to find, as I mentioned, the sum, the average, the min, the max, and the count. So to actually get started, we need to find out where we actually want to place our answer. So in this example, we're going to place the total for row 1 in cell B8. And the way we know that we have B8 activated is, as you can see, column B in column 8 is active. So that's where we're going to place our answer. And now we're going to actually find out how to activate the AutoSum feature, which is located on the Home tab right here in the editing group. And as you can see, we have the AutoSum button right here. Excuse me. Now, if we just place our cursor over it, we see a screen tip that pretty much explains what AutoSum is. But also, as you can see, there's a drop down arrow, which means that allows you to see more features. So when we click on that, as you can see, we have sum, we have average, we have count numbers, max, min, and more functions. So as I mentioned, we're going to find the total or the sum of row 1. So again, as you can see, we have our cell active, which is B8, and that's because that's where we're going to place our answer. And we're going to scroll up here to sum, and we're going to left click on sum. And as you can see, one of the great features about Excel automatically assumes the particular range that we're going to add up when we're dealing with numbers. Now, as you can see the dancing ants around cell B2, B3, B4, B5, B6, and B7. And that's where we're going to that's the actual type of range that we're actually going to use in this example. So, and as you can see, in B8, the formula for the sum function is available, which it is also in our formula bar as well. So as you can see, it says equals sum, parentheses, the particular range that we actually want to add up. So to confirm that's the range that we want, we can either press enter on our keyboard or we can press enter here on the formula bar. So let's just use that right now. So as you can see, Excel automatically adds up the particular range and comes out, in this example, of a total of 805. So just in case you want to know to see if this actually has the right addition, we can pull up our calculator and we can see for ourselves. So here's our calculator. So let's add up the numbers. 25 plus 85 plus 36 plus 54 plus 5 plus 600. And as you can see, the total comes out to 805, which shows you our sum for these particular row of numbers. Now next we're going to find the average. So again, we're going to click on the cell where we want to place the answer. And in this particular example, we're going to place the answer in B9. And again, we'll go back to our Home tab, our Editing group, AutoSum button, and then we're going to click down the arrow and we're going to click on Average. Now, as you can see, as I mentioned earlier, Excel automatically assumes the particular range that we want. Now, as you can see in the average, not only is it including the range that we wanted originally from B2 to B7, it's also including B8. But again, for this example alone, we want to just deal with B2 through B7. So what we can do is we can highlight the actual rows that we actually want. So again, I can just place my cursor starting with B2 and scroll down to B7, and as you can see, it has the actual column, have the actual range that we want. So again, we want to deal with B2 through B7. So as I mentioned, once we select the range that we want, we can click enter on our formula bar, or we can click enter on our keyboard. So let's do it on the formula bar. So the average of those numbers is 134.167. So again, if we want to just see if this is correct, bring up back our calculator. And as you know, find the average is adding up a row of numbers and divided by how many numbers that we actually have. So we already have our total. So let's see how many numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to take this 805 and divide by 6. So as you can see, it matches the answer here in this particular cell. So as you can see, Excel is a great, powerful tool for performing a lot of calculations. And so again, this is a good method to use. Now we're going to find the min, or the lowest number in the particular range that we want to deal with. So again, we go back, we select the cell where we want to place our answer, which is B10. And we're going to go back to our home tab, editing group, AutoSum button, and scroll down to min. And as you can see, again, it's not only including the range that we want to deal with at first, but it's also including these two numbers as well. So again, as I mentioned, Excel just automatically assumes the particular range that you want and just it just highlights the range. But again, we want to pick our own range. Now, as I showed you earlier, we can highlight the particular range that we want, or we can actually click inside this particular formula, and then we can just manually type in the range that we want. So again, we want to deal with B2 through B7. So I know you may not can see it here in this particular cell, but you can see it in the formula bar that we want equal min, parentheses B2 colon B7. So I'm going to delete the 9 and we're going to place in 7. And as you can see, the range that we want is highlighted in light blue. So again, that's the range that we want. And again, we can press enter on a keyboard, or we can press enter on the formula bar, which I'm going to use the keyboard this time. So I'm pressing enter. So as you can see, the minimum or the lowest number in that particular range that we picked was 5. So next we're going to find the max, or the highest number. Now, before we even get started, we can look at the range that we're looking at, that we want, and see that the highest number is going to be 600. And then, as I mentioned, we're going to activate the cell that we want to place our answer. And before we even get started, we already know what's going to happen when we click on the max formula there. It's now going to include the range that we want, but it's going to include cell B8, B9, and B10. So let's see if I'm correct. And as you can see, I am correct. So again, we want to readjust for the range that we want. Again, we want B2 through B7. And again, we're just going to highlight that particular range. And I'm just going to press enter to confirm. And sure enough, our highest number of that particular range is 600. Now next, we're going to find the count, or we're going to find how many numbers in a particular range that we select. So again, you already know what's going to happen. So again, we're just going to click on count. And again, highlight the range, not only the range that we want, but the range that we didn't want. So again, let's just highlight the range that we want. And doing so, and then just press enter. And so the particular range that I picked, we have 6 numbers in that particular range. Now what we're going to do is fill in the total, average, min, max, and count for row 2 as well as row 3. Now, seeing as that you're a beginner in AutoSum, it can seem kind of tedious and kind of stressful, I guess, of trying to learn this. But there's a faster way to actually find these particular formulas for the rest of the rows that we have remaining. And one of the great features that Excel has is called the autofill feature, which what it does is it automatically fills a particular formula by just copying and pasting. And the way that we do that, so again, as you can see, for row 2, we want to find the total. In row 3, we want to find the total. Row 2, we want to find the average. Row 3, we want to find the average. And of course, for row 2 and 3, we want to find the min or the lowest number. For row 2 and 3, we want to find the max or the highest number. And then for row 2 and 3, we want to find the count. So first, what we need to do is click in the cell that has the original formula, which in this particular cell we have the equal sum formula from range B2 through B7. Now, as you know, since we want to find the sum for row 2, we pretty much know the formula is going to be pretty much similar to this particular formula. So again, this formula, we're going to, instead of saying equal sum range from B2 through B7, we're going to say equal sum C2 through C7. And for this particular, we want to say equal sum D2 through 37. So what autofill does, it automatically going to do that for us because this is a default pattern that we're going to use. So again, we're going to use the same row of numbers, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but we're going to use different columns. So to activate the autofill function, again, we're going to select the cell that has the original function. And as you can see, the bottom right-hand corner has a square. And what we're going to do, we're going to place our cursor where the square is until it turns into a black cross. So as you can see, I place it there, and it does. Then we're going to hold down the left click, and we're going to drag across all the way into the last cell, which is this one right here, and then we're going to let go. So when we click in these particular cells, as you can see, we have numbers in these particular cells, and then when we click inside the cell, as you can see, the formula is already there, but the only difference is instead of B2 through B7, we have C2 through C7, as I mentioned. And then if you click in this cell, we have equal sum D2 colon D7. So again, as you can see, we started off with this particular cell in this function. And with the autofill, it automatically filled, which is the keyword, automatically filled or filled the formula for us, and it recognized the pattern that we're using. So again, it recognized that we started with a particular column, but we're going to use the same row of numbers. So we're going to do average. So again, we click in the cell to activate it, and because that's what the active formula is. Then we're going, and as you can see, it has equal average B2 colon B7. So once we use the autofill, in this cell it should say equal average C2 colon C7. In this particular one, it should say equal average D2 colon D7. So again, let's start and just press our cursor right here until it turns to the cross, and hold down the left click and drag all the way across to this particular cell and let go. And as you can see, it automatically has numbers here, and then we click in the cell, and as you can see, it says equal average C2 colon C7 equal average D2 colon C7. So again, with the autofill feature, again, it just saves you time of entering a particular formula, especially if it's going to have a consistent pattern. So again, let's do min. So as you can see, before we even get started, we already know that the min, or the lowest number for row 2, is going to be the number 2. And the lowest number for row 3 is going to be 43. So let's see if we're correct. So again, just hold down the left click, drag across, let go, and there you go. It has that particular answer that we mentioned. So let's use the max. So we automatically know that by looking at row 2, the highest number is going to be 98. And the highest number for row 3 is 2000. So let's see if we're correct. And we are. So now let's find the count, or find the amount of numbers in a particular range that's selected. So as you can see, like I said, when you click in the active cell, it shows you the formula equal count C2 colon C7. And for the next one, we see equal count D2 colon D7. So as I mentioned, the autofill feature saves you a lot of time. I mean, you can either manually type in the formula, or we can actually use the auto create the default formula and use the autofill to fill the rest of the cells with the formula. So again, like I say, it just saves you a bunch of time. Now, also, Excel has another feature that you can find the average, total, min, max, and count without even using the AutoSum feature. So again, I'm just going to show you a quick reference of how to do that. So let's highlight our range B2 through B7. And if we come down here to our customized status bar, you can see we have average, we have count, we have min, we have max, we have sum, and as you can see, it matches our corresponding cells with this information. So again, all I did was just highlight the particular range that I want, and then the answer appears here along the statistics bar. Now, I've already had it set up to show these particular stats, but what if you just didn't want to see certain stats, or certain stats wasn't there at first and you want to add those stats? We can just come down here to our statistical bar, right click, and as you can see, this menu comes up. And again, all 5 of the stats are available, but what if I wanted just to remove the minimum and max? I just left click on it to uncheck it, and then just click anywhere off of it, and as you can see, the minimum and max is not available. But if I wanted to bring it back or bring others back that were not available, just right click on it again, and then you can see minimum and max are not checked. But if I check it and click off of it, and as you can see, it returns back to our customized stat bar. So again, that's just a quick reference of how to do it. So if you wanted to look at row 2, you can highlight those particular rows. And as you can see, we have the average, we have the count, we have the min, max, and the sum. And again, they all matching our corresponding information. Let's do the same thing for row 3. And as you can see, average, count, min, max, and sum, it matches our corresponding answer in our cells here. So again, it's just a quick way of just finding the stats real quickly. And if I want to just highlight all the numbers, as you can see, it gives me an average, it gives me a count, it gives me a min, it gives me a max, and it also gives me a sum. So again, it's just a quick reference. Now, another great feature about Excel, if you decide to change any of these numbers in our default range of cells, Excel will automatically update the information for us. So for instance, if we take the number 36 and we change it to 63, or excuse me, 69, and we press enter to confirm, as you can see, the total and the average changes. And as you can see, the min does not change because the number that we changed did not become the lowest number, nor did the number we changed become the max number, nor did we remove any numbers from our range, so therefore those numbers will stay the same. Now, if we go to row 2 and we change that 2 to an 87, and hit enter, as you can see, our total changes, our average change, but as you can see, our min changed because 2 was the lowest number, but since we removed the 2, and since 2 is not the lowest number and 7 is, it updated from the number 2 to the number 7. And of course, our max did not change because the number that we changed was not the highest number, nor did our amount of numbers that we the amount of numbers that we have did not change as well. So let's go to row 3, and if we take the number 2000 and we remove it, delete it, as you can see, our average change as well as our total change. Our minimum didn't change because the number that we changed was not the minimum number, but the max number change went from 2000 to 183 because 2000 was the highest number at the time, but now since we removed it, 183 is the next highest number. And also our count went from 6 to 5 because again we removed the number, so therefore based upon the range that we have, we only have 5 numbers available. So again, Excel is a powerful tool that allows you to update information, autofill, as well as other things. So I hope that this tutorial of AutoSum as well as autofill and also updating information was helpful to you. I hope you enjoy, and please look out for future tutorials.